the next topic here. We had a history we can hit on, but first I want to hit on a couple other things. We might get to it. Let's dive into a little topic on edge defender. So I uncovered another podcast today, and it's a Philly Eagles podcast that Greg Cosell is doing with those guys. And we got a couple of bonuses that we added to the board today. Emilio, do you remember who I texted over by chance?
That would be Nick Scorton and Braden Swinson.
He really liked Nick Scorton a lot. I wanted to play the audio for you guys, but we'd have to pull it up on the podcast. I'd have to screen record it and post it on here. So I'll just give you kind of what he said or my biggest takeaways. Did you get a chance to listen to that one, Amelia? You probably did.
I did not. And he was on Shamar Stewart as well, you said.
The big thing he said about Nick Scorton was his use of hands. He can no, it was Braden Swinson that could use his hands in the text, right, that I sent y'all. Nick Scorton was just like, this dude is a great pass rusher. He talked about him at Purdue, where he dominated. I think he led the Big Ten in sacks that year, and then he transferred over to Texas A&M. So he lined up opposite of, I believe it was A&M. He lined up opposite of Shamar Stewart. And he talked about Nick Scorton like it was one of his favorite prospects. So he's going to get the 5-point bonus on our big board. That's going to raise him up a little bit. Do you know where he's at on our board right now, by chance, Emilio? Nick Scorton? Yeah. If you'll look him up for me. And then we'll talk about Braden Swinson here in a second as well.
He is 25th.
All right, so he's now 25th on our big board. Now he's in that range for the 23rd pick. I'm just saying that if you hear of a top 30 visit with Nick Scorton, he might be on the radar. Jacob, Amelia, actually, let me start with Tim here. Tim, what do you think about Nick Scorton, bro? Do you got anything on him? How do you feel about Nick Scorton out of Texas A&M, man?
He looks pretty consistent, even going back to 2022. In 2024, he graded at 80.1 PFF grade, 28 hurries, 4 sacks, a couple bad passes. I mean, he meets a lot of the measurables and the stuff that we're looking for at the edge position. And I think he's probably versatile enough to play in this scheme in the 4-3 with Hafley. So definitely would be a guy that I could see going. If he's on the board, I would think the Packers would have to seriously think about, taking a flyer on that guy early.
Yeah, you have no idea how bad I want to hit play right now because this highlight reel is unbelievable. You know what we'll be dealing with here. So you guys go check it out on my Twitter, at Packers_access. You'll see that I tagged Greg Cosell in a tweet where he talked about Nick Scorton and Braden Swinson. Jacob, how do you feel about Nick Scorton, man? Would you be okay with him at 23, or is he not consistent enough? What do you think, man?
Yeah, I wouldn't be upset about it. Like Tim just highlighted, the guy's got some really great skills, 80.6% pass rush grade, 74.4 run defense grade, a pass rush win rate of 17%. Had some very good games against very high quality schools. Had 28 pressures each of the last of those 2024 and 2023 campaigns. So the sacks and the hurries, sacks and hits were a little bit left to be desired. But I mean, he does seem like an athletic, physical freak. It does talk about too how he is such a size and versatility that he could be anywhere in a 3-4 defense or a 4-3. So they're saying that he may not be the exact type of playmaker that will be a high sack count type of guy, but he's the one that's going to be getting pressure and getting hurries each and every play. So,
and he's not even legal to buy a beer yet.
He can't buy a beer. He is under 21 years of age, so he does have that highlight on him. I just, again, at that area of the draft, I would probably rather go for someone with a little more bona fides and upside, but what do I know?
Yeah. Daryl in the chat says Nick Scorton is not a good pass rusher or tackler. So Greg Cosell does not know what the hell he's talking about every day. Thanks, Daryl. Appreciate you, buddy. Amelia, you got anything to add to Nick Scorton?
No. I mean, I think that they were a dynamic duo together. It's a possibility. Everybody's got to be open. I think we're shooting for edge D-line. I think we're kind of narrowing that down as we're looking at it. Wide receiver's probably not going to happen. If a corner falls, maybe. Besides that, I think we're hitting the trenches.
Got it. All right. Let's talk about Braden Swinson for a minute. If you guys will pull him up, I think his name, I want to say he has a Y in his name, maybe?
Yeah, Bradyn. Yep.
He's another guy, Tim. You tell me if I'm wrong. I have not given him the time of day whatsoever. But as I sit here on the podcast, 73.2 and 22, 81 flat and 23, 83 3 and 24. Absolutely progressed every single year like we would like. He's played more and more games each and every year, played more and more snaps each and every year. He's progressed his snaps every year, progressed his hits every year, progressed his hurries, which capitalized in 2024. He had 43 hurries. 43.
He had 16 in 2023, so that's a huge
Exactly. Pass rush grade of 90.3, run defense grade of 69.6, totally fine with that. True pass rush grade of 91.4, and get this, a pass rush win rate of 22.1.
And for all you sack obsessed fans out there, he had 9 sacks last year.
Wow.
There you go.
And this goes on. Can I really quick? It says Swinson didn't become a full-time starter until his final season, but in his current form, he shows very active hands and a good understanding of rushing the passer to yield consistently high pass rush win rates. If he continues to get stronger playing the run, he'd become a starting 3-4 edge player with an impact pass rush potential. I kind of have been selling this guy short. Like playing at LSU with that type of size and speed and that kind of production, I'm extremely interested in this dude. I don't know why I have not looked at him until right now. He's got the overall rank of PFF at 47.
Gotcha. Emilio, you got anything to add to him?
No.
All right. I got you. I know you're busy over there. Braden Swinson sits in the 85 spot on our big board. Matter of fact, let me just close this out real quick and I'll get the big board back up. And if there's anybody you want to see on it, y'all let me know. So Braden Swinson is currently in the 85 spot now. All right. PFF grade, he was 74th at his position in 23. And you guys know, I know that Tim and Jacob are reading off the PFF grade specifically. What I like to do is try to step back and go, here's where they ranked amongst all college football players at that
PFF's got him 45th out of 869 edge players.
Got it. Good stuff. So in 2023, he was 74th. In 2024, he was 41st when we took the information down. PFF Big Board had him at 149. The consensus Big Board had him at 87. And Kyle Krabs had him in the 72 spot. He's showing a RAS of 3, which means he had an 8+ RAS. And, of course, he got the Greg Cosell bonus. I'm trying to get RAS to load. Obviously, we're not the only people trying to log in here on it right now. I want to see if that's been updated at all. So
he was also yellow too, Clay. That wasn't that AI one.
Yeah, so it was probably incomplete, right? Last time we checked. So we'll see if
they're showing he had a 40 of a 4.8, so that probably is dragging him down just a little bit there. Decent 3-cone, decent shuttle. Arm length is okay, but a little bit undersized for what he's at. He's at the Shrine Bowl invite. Really, really high touted pass rusher. That's kind of what they say his bread and butter is here.
Yeah. And the one thing that I remember Greg Cosell talking about, both of these guys, both Nick Scorton and Braden Swinson, was their ability to use power. Like when he talked about James Pierce Jr. today, the big thing that he mentioned was he's a speed demon, right? He needs to learn how to play with power. If he learns how to play with power, dude's going to be a monster. Both Scorton and Braden Swinson can play with power. Now, he talked about Shamar Stewart, and Emilio kind of teased that. He said that Shamar Stewart is everything you want in an athlete at edge. He has everything. He can play at 280, slim down to 267. He said, when you turn on the tape and you see his athletic ability, there's no way this guy's going to make it out of the top 15 is the way he talked. He said,
right.
And then he said, and he said, he needs to learn how to rush the passer. That's what he said. So he has
everything we said about Quay before we drafted him.
I would say everything. I'm trying to think of another player, LVN.
Yeah. That's a good count. Yep.
When people say, I want Shamar Stewart, I want to throw up, the funny, snarky remark of we have Shamar Stewart at home. We don't need that, right? And we're hoping LVN takes that next step, but that's really what it feels like. You guys remember LVN was just this freak, right, at the combine. So me personally, and again, if we're just trusting the board here, if we go and find our boy Shamar Stewart, you see he's in the 16th spot. According to our board, he's well worth the 23rd pick. I'm simply saying if there's another edge there like Michael Williams, I probably feel better about him than I do Shamar Stewart, to be honest with you. But when they put him up against other talent at the Senior Bowl, he knocked it out of the freaking park. That makes me sway back, right? And that RAS of 10, Dane Brugler has him at 9. Daniel Jeremiah has him at 27. See, that feels more right for me when Daniel Jeremiah's initial top 50 list, having him in the 27 spot. That feels kind of the sweet spot. To me, 16 feels a little high for someone who needs to learn how to rush the passer. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, though, man. If he said if somebody gets their hands on him and they teach him how to rush the passer, he's going to be something very, very special. So, anything else to add to Shamar Stewart or any of the other edge defenders you guys want to maybe hit on here before we move it along?
I think Jacob had one start in the chat here. Yeah, from Coach Len.
Mm-hmm.
Would you rather draft Swinson or Birch if you had the choice?
Great.
That's
great
a really good question.
Let's see here. Braden Swinson, we've got in the 85 spot, right? Remember that 85. We got Jordan Birch at 60, so significantly higher. Now, keep in mind that we did meet with Nick Scorton. Did we meet with Braden Swinson too? Emilio, can you?
We met with what was the other A&M guy?
Yeah, Braden Swinson does have the cheese.
Okay, so we already met with Braden Swinson. I think we met with Scorton. Maybe we didn't meet with Scorton. Did we meet?
Didn't we meet with Stewart? We met with Shamar Stewart, right?
Yeah, top 30.
Stewart.
Yeah, it's a top 32.
Scorton just is a fit. He's got the hard eyes.
Okay, got you. So we actually have not met with him yet then. Got it. Okay, so at 60, Jordan Birch will be hands down better than Swinson according to our board. We haven't met with him yet. He was at the Senior Bowl. Here's how Jordan Birch stacks up. 210th at his position, then he jumped to 189, then he jumped to 93. So, Jacob, PFF wasn't very high on him, right? Like they probably had a lower grade on him.
It wasn't terrible. He's basically another steady Eddie. 2022, 72.4. 2023, 73.1. 2024, 77.6. So we saw the progression. Pass rush win rate is 15.7%. True pass rush win grade of 86.8. A pass rush grade of 81.3. Run defense grade is 68.1. Not great against the run with a 2.9% run stop rate, but 10 sacks this last year, 20 hurries. Played predominantly over tackle or outside tackle, only 1 snap at A gap, 21 at B gap. I don't hate the pick there, but I just don't. I personally would rather have Braden, I think.
Yeah, got it. All right, cool. Jordan Birch, obviously sticking to the board. He would be my pick, Coach Lynn. And let's see here. PFF Big Board had him at 57 at the end of the year. Consensus Big Board had him 66. Daniel Jeremiah had him 35th on his initial top 50. 33rd team had him in the 69 spot, and Dane Brugler had him at 51. It's in yellow, meaning it wasn't in stone, but the RAS was tracking to be a 9+ for Jordan Birch.
Unfortunately, he's not a good pass rusher, though. So,
got it. I appreciate that, man. Yeah, well, hell, take him off the board. There we go.
Heard it from a fan right here.
I like this. Respect Orange just says AFM definitely interested in the sacks.
Jeez. All right. I see what you guys did there. Manscaped.
Right. So, any other edge defenders? Actually, there's another bit of news that dropped earlier today. Ian Rappaport put a tweet out. I want to ask your all's take on it. He said Louisville edge defender Ashton Galat. Do we know how to say his name?
I don't, but I want to know how.
I think Galat's pretty accurate.
I think
I
so.
thought it was like
Till we hear otherwise.
Iote.
We'll say Galat. A name that is already generating buzz as we get closer to the NFL draft. Ran a blazing 4.63 40-yard dash at his pro day in front of representatives from all 32 NFL clubs. Can you guys look up his measurements? I want to know his height, weight, all that.
6'3", 275 pounds.
275 at 4'6". That is wild. So let's see where we got him on the board. What do you think about? Go ahead, Jacob.
I'm just sorry. Again, another guy that just jumps off the page here. 2022, 70.7. 2023, 85.8. 2024, 87.8. Played 12, 14, and then 12 games. Had over almost 600 snaps. Yeah, well over 600 snaps last 2 years. He had decent sack production, 9 in 2023, 5 in this last year. Had 11 hits this last year, 7 in 2023. But look at this, guys. In 2024, he had 41 hits. In 2023, he had 42 hits. He played predominantly over tackle and outside the tackle. He's a pass rush grade of 89.9. That'll do. Run defense grade, 78 flat. a true pass set pass rush grade of 90.9 with a pass rush win rate of 20.9. Okay. On top of a run stop rate of 6.9. I mean, this dude is jumping off the page right now.
Good stuff. So on our board, we had him, like I said, in the 55 spot. So this is a dude that might be, let's say that you don't have the edge defender you like there at 23. Let's say they do go wide receiver at 23. Like we said, we hope they don't, right? Let's say they go wide receiver at 23 and you come back and try to get an edge defender at 54. This might be someone in that range. 280th his position. He jumped all the way to 29th, then jumped on up to 26. The PFF Big Board had him at 40. Consensus Big Board had him at 86. Daniel Jeremiah had him in the 42 spot. So what?
He's falling on PFF's board then.
Yep.
He's at
Where's he at now?
113 right now.
Wow.
86.
Why do you think he fell, boys? What do you think? Watch him jump back up now that he ran this 40, right? It's just amazing.
So is he maybe just a little undersized?
6'2" is kind of right below that threshold that the Packers like, I believe. So that might be the case, Jake. Might be. And again, what we're going to do is we're going to remove all the heart emojis. I put that up there so we could get an idea of the guys that were in that ballpark, right? Of, hey, these are the guys that are kind of in that range that look like they would fit the athletic threshold for the Packers. We're going to get you a updated version of that definitely before the draft, where we're going to remove it all, and anybody that you have that emoji next to, slam dunk, that's a fit. That's a fit.
This could be incorrect, but Daryl actually coming in with some good knowledge here. Giote or whatever is apparently pronounced gelati. Gelati,
really?
He likes the gabagool, apparently.
The gabagool. Emilio, that's your people over there.
Yeah, hey, I mean, I thought it was going to be Gillette, like the best a man can get. I know Jacob uses that.
No, I don't. Hey, by the way,
real
I want a
question
side
is,
salad.
what does Buckets Goldenberg use?
He used a machete. Let's be honest.
Seriously.
Oh, God.
Buckets Goldenberg shaved with chainsaws. Yeah.
It was dull. Yeah, dull on both ends.
Daniel he used a rock that he followed down. Daniel Jeremiah had him in the 42 spot, not Buckets Goldenberg or Gillette. He had Gelati. What was it again?
Galati.
33rd team had him in the 55 spot, and then Dane Brugler had him at 71. We were showing a 9+ RAS, but it wasn't final at the time that we gathered that.
I
And
got
by
an
the way,
edge that I'd like to take in the first round if we're talking about an edge in the first round.
let's hear it, Tim.
I don't even know how to say his name, but he went to
mean
Ole
Yellen?
Miss.
Oh.
He went to Ole Miss. Yeah,
Jared
Princely.
Ivey? Oh,
No, Princely.
okay. You mean Yellen?
Yeah, there.
You
God
know
bless you. Yeah, Princely
Princely.
Monomelian. Is that how you say it?
Mhm. I don't know,
Sure.
Tim.
Jacob
We
is
think we're professional over here. or something?
I'm just saying. I'd probably take him over Gelato or Gelati, whatever.
Gelato.
Jesus. Oh, wow. Yeah, Tim.
Where's Princely on our board?
We got Princely in the 56 spot. Now,
Okay.
listen, PFF is off the charts in 2024. He had a down year in 2023, though, according to PFF. The PFF Big Board had him at 37. The Consensus Big Board had him 38. 33rd team had him 53. The main thing that's bringing him down, though, was Dane Brugler had him at 75, and he was showing an 8+ RAS. What do you got there, Jacob? You seem like you were clamoring over him there for a second.
Well, I mean,
By the way, let me say this. The Packers did meet with him, and it looks like he meets the athletic threshold, too. So.
okay.
Nice.
So they've seen a 6'4", 6'3", maybe at the shortest around 255. Like you just said, Clayton, this last year in 2024, the guy absolutely balled out. 91.1 grade, 12 games played, almost 500 snaps, 11 sacks, 16 hits, 28 hurries, predominantly outside tackle, pass rush grade of 91.5, run defense grade of 78.7, a true pass set pass rush grade of 90.9, and a pass rush win rate of 22.8. with a run stop grade of 8.6, had the best game of the season against somebody named the Georgia Bulldogs. Have you heard of them? 93.7 grade, never graded underneath a 60 other than at LSU with a 59.4. Otherwise, the lowest grade of the whole year was basically a 70. Most of it lives in the high 70s, lower 80s, and sometimes in the 90s. That dude, color me intrigued quite a lot. 22.9 years of age, whatever, I can look past that.
Looking back here, Braden Swenson's RAS is still incomplete, And Nick Scorton, if I can find it, is also, I think, hold on just a second, almost there. Nick Scorton is incomplete as well. So
this is another one, though, that's kind of tough because that Ole Miss line, guys, we're looking at guys like Princely. We're looking at Jared Ivey on the other side. We got Walter Nolan in the middle. I mean, you got Chris Paul at the linebacker. You got Amos at cornerback. Like, which one of these guys actually is pulling that defense? You know what I'm saying?
Who's paying the NIL down there?
Yes, what's up, dude?
I gotta get him to adopt me as a nephew or something, man. My gosh. That's crazy. Like we talked about it, Tim. Remember we did the college football podcast there in the off season, getting ready for the draft coming up and everything. And it was just like going into college football last year. You looked at it, all the projected potential draft picks going in the NFL from Ole Miss, and it's like they are loaded. Like they recruited their butts off, no doubt about it, man.
For sure.
Christopher in the chat says Bucky Brooks has Green Bay taking a cornerback out of Michigan. Called him a ball hawk. Where is this player rating? Is he talking about our Will Johnson?
Yeah, Will Johnson. That's it.
Will. Top 10.
He's in the hospital.
So Will Johnson is not on our big board, Christopher. I mean, he's a stud. There's no two ways about it. Outside corner, very long frame. He fits the athletic threshold, in the early testing anyway.